Typhoon Haiyan was the most powerful cyclone to ever hit land. With wind speeds exceeding 300 kilometers an hour, it churned up a storm surge that swept kilometers inland. Giant waves that washed away everything in its path. It left behind a trail of destruction. More than 10,000 people had died, all were missing, and millions of people were made homeless. The storm may be over, but the problems of the brave survivors remain. Many mourn the loss of their loved ones, and many more worry about the problems they face ahead. Homeless in a devastated land with little job opportunities, families wonder about their future as they struggle with the very basic necessities of life. But we can make a difference by bringing hope to them. Arriving in the Philippines on a humanitarian mission, we were filled with mixed emotions. What would we see? Who would we meet? How would it all work out? Maximum Life and our partners WikiGives raised $15,000 to assist in the rebuilding of homes and schools, provide food relief and motivate the locals in their efforts to rebuild their communities. The goal of our mission was to help these brave survivors, but I left the country feeling inspired from the inside out, from the depths of my soul and out into the world around me. When the typhoon warning sounded, thousands fled into the arena for safety.
When the typhoon warning came out, when the Typhoon Haiyan was coming, everybody came and they fled to the convention centre because this was the normal place for everybody to evacuate to.
But it ended up becoming a massive tomb. Many were forced away because there wasn't enough room and were swept away by the waves.
When you come to a place like this and you see the devastation, I mean there's lots of kids wandering around here looking at their families' graves. You can feel the energy, you can feel the tensity in the air, and it's still lingering around. I just can't describe it in words. It's unbelievable, it really is.
One thing that stands out in my mind is the courage and determination of these incredible people. In the face of immense adversity, they overcame their fears and battled to save themselves and their loved ones.
I undergo cesarean.
Okay, and then you came home?
Yeah.
And then the typhoon came?
There was Annie, who had a cesarean section just a few days before the typhoon struck. When the storm waves came, she plucked up enough energy to swim to safety with her newborn son in her arms.
Actually, I'm looking behind. There's a big wave that struck me, and then it will. Actually, the wave there are also a lot of debris are floating. So
Well, like rocks and
woods. Yeah, woods, and then it. Actually, I've drawn that time, and then my head are banged with. I don't know what it really because
there was Gilbert Mendez, who jumped out of his top floor window with his father and brother when the floodwaters rose. The waves were relentless and they were almost overwhelmed, but they fought to keep each other alive. The courage of these men and women blew me away. Their willpower to survive 30-foot waves crashing down around them made me look at life differently. The survivors describe life after the storm, in the midst of countless deaths and destruction, as a living hell. It took incredible resilience for them to rebuild their lives. We met brave individuals like Oliver Conde.
Kuan ko ako lawas sir, yung kuan sa presyo sa dagat sir ba. Kuan ako dugo sa presyo sa ilog moon.
What motivated you to do it so quickly?
Ako gi kuan sir nga dugayon ako ang paghuman ako bahay sir. Luoy kay ako mga anak tunugan sir ba. Nauwanan muna giapas na ko dali ang bahay na.
Oliver, despite his crippled legs, rebuilt his home for his family. In the rain, while the neighbours laughed at his efforts and called him crazy, his feat became an inspiration for his village.
Boat made of a broken refrigerator so they can sail and get some fish. So they cut the branches of trees, then made some improvised paddle to
Ronaldillo and Geraldo from a village of fishermen told me a story that was simply amazing. The typhoon had wrecked their boats and washed away all their food. Desperate for survival after the storm, they improvised and built boats out of fridges and rowed out into the rough seas with their driftwood as paddles. They braved the elements in rickety contraptions to provide food for their families and loved ones. While we were painting newly built houses in a small village in Typhoon, we met a beautiful young angel called Keisha.
Hey guys, I'm here with 3-year-old Keisha, beautiful young girl, and she can't see in the daylight. Her parents don't know really what's wrong with her.
Keisha and her younger sister had an eye condition and they could not see in the daylight. We provided for them to be taken to hospital to be checked out. They were vitamin A deficient, amongst other problems. After feeding them well and giving them prescription glasses, the girls can now see and open their eyes in the daylight. It cost only $200, but it saved these girls from a life of blindness. Simple solutions can make a huge impact in these impoverished communities. Thinking back about the children of Tacloban always brings tears to my eyes. They lived in such harsh conditions, yet they were always smiling and full of life. We handed out some balls, skipping ropes and games one day and played with the kids for hours, becoming like kids again ourselves. At the end of the day, we jumped into the van and were about to drive off when there was a knock on the van door. I opened it and there were the children, arms full of toys. They thought we had forgotten the toys and were rushing to return them. Not once did they get attached to the material objects we had offered as gifts. They were just happy to have played with them for the time they had them. This humbled me so much. The smiles on their faces could have lit up the world on a dark night when we said they could keep the toys. The look on their face was priceless. It will brighten my life for an eternity. Every school we saw was damaged by the typhoon. Many classrooms had walls that had fallen, and most schools had their roofs blown off by the wind. With leaky tarpaulins stretched over the carcass of the walls, water still gets through, gathering in pools in classrooms whenever it rains. Yet the students have gone back to the broken shells of their schools to study. The dedication of the students to learning and the teachers in teaching blew me away. We had the opportunity to hand out clothes and shoes to the students and contribute to rebuilding the roof of 2 of the classrooms. We had a games day, interacting with the kids, playing ball games with them and putting them through their paces on a warm-up. There was a puppet show that was entertaining and educational. Seeing their laughter filled me with energy and hope to do more, to help more, and love these people like my own family. It was one of the best times of my life. It was moments like these that gave me strength, power and energy to do more for these incredible people. We are all human beings at the end of the day, and everyone deserves to live a maximum life. It doesn't matter where you come from, whether you are black or white, rich or poor, regardless of your language or religion. We should all come together as brothers and sisters on this planet to help and support each other in times of trouble. Together, we can break down a planet full of barriers and bring peace back into this world. Love is the answer. Love is the key to the door of eternal freedom.